Okay, let's look at this paper a little bit more closely just for structure and content. Okay, so like all your other papers, I want you to set this up in MLA 8th edition. You will start by getting your, goodness, getting your font and size established, Times New Roman 12. You will also do your spacing here. Okay, so make sure that you do all that. And of course, insert your page numbers. So insert page number, choose the top of page, choose plain number 3, put your name and the number, and make sure that they are also in Times New Roman 12-point font. So we're setting the paper up as we do all papers. You can go ahead and create a title if you want to change your title when it's time for the term paper. Like if you come up with a better title when it's all said and done, that is fine. And then you're going to go ahead and create your subheading. So this is for the literature review. The first thing we should do in any paper is set up a context for the topic. So, this is where you get creative, and you're going to be talking about resilience, and so you can determine whatever the context is for your paper. For this one, the paper starts out like this. Why is it that sometimes the smartest kid in the class fails, or the mid-level kid becomes a doctor? In this fast-paced 21st century where technology drives innovation and skill sets evolve, psychologists and educators are increasingly more interested in the non-cognitive factors that contribute to a person's success or lack thereof. So I know these might sound like some big words or whatever. Non-cognitive just means these things that aren't related to intelligence. What else contributes to success, okay? So then we have a transition, and whenever you use any quoted material or paraphrase material, remember you need to give credit to the source. So this sentence says, this often leads to the study of mindset, which can be defined as a set of attitudes and beliefs about abilities such as intelligence. This comes from the source, from the author Robinson, and it's page 18 of that text. In a moment we'll look at the works cited, but I know that when I look on the left margin of the works cited, I will find the name Robinson, okay? And then from all the research, so all of this research points back to the same person, Carol Dweck, who is Stanford University professor of psychology. This information is in several places, and so and we also are using a Dweck source. So citing anything here is not necessary because we do have Dweck and we have a source related to her, so it's fine. And then this is just leading us. It says getting to the nitty gritty. This is what we're talking about here. As noted on your instructions, I'd like to see some subheadings. So what is growth mindset? We just center it. And then start dealing with the literature, okay? Here, Dweck says, according to Dweck, those who possess growth mindsets believe that their intelligence grows through learning. Notice there aren't any quotes here, but we are giving credit to Dweck because these are her ideas. And so it's been paraphrased, but even when we paraphrase, we must give credit to the source. Therefore, they approach opportunities for learning with open minds and are not afraid of potential setbacks. Those with fixed mindsets do not believe in their potential to learn beyond their already established intelligence. Therefore, challenges and/or setbacks can be quite demoralizing. Demoralizing is quoted. This all comes from the Dweck source. So anytime you are acknowledging a source, you must do it right away the first time you are citing it. Then we switch. So here's an author comment right here. These fixed beliefs contribute to the fact that so many individuals do not live up to their full potentials. That is just Jane Sample's take right there. And then we switch to a new source. The idea here is that you have to use 6 sources total, and so that we want to synthesize sources. We want to take multiple sources and focus in on the same concepts. So Clara Boyette is continuing Dweck's ideas here. According to Clara Boyette, these individuals are too focused on talent, and because they, quote, fear failure, they will often, quote, avoid challenges because they are seen as an affront to their talent. So Boyette, her source has page numbers, so we've named her in the sentence. There's no need to put her in parentheses, but we do need to put the page number. They are also more likely to experience anxiety. Still the same source. So as long as we don't change sources, we don't have to tell the author's name again. Now, we're going back to Dweck here, and her source is a web source. Web sources do not have page numbers. So if you pull a web page, not a PDF, but a web page, even though you print it and it might say 1 of 5, um, 2 of 3, whatever. Those are not actual page numbers. Those are just what your printer has produced. And depending on your print settings, your page numbers will be different from the next person. So if it's a web source, it doesn't have page numbers. The way you're going to know this is in your citation. In the way I'm looking for page numbers, if your citation comes from a PDF or from a journal, it's going to have page numbers, and it should have page numbers showing up in your paper. All right, moving on. So now I've asked you to make some connections, explore some other ideas that are related to your concept. And here, the connections to growth mindset are agency and self-efficacy. So it says the concept of growth mindset relates closely to the concepts of agency and self-efficacy. According to Terrell Strayhorn, we have a new source that we've not mentioned before. We're going to mention his whole name the first time, and then from now on we will just say Strayhorn. Agency is the belief that one can act or do something to achieve desired goals. In the original text, it was capitalized. I'm not going to be too picky about that sort of thing, but for grammar reasons, it is best to just to keep it to lowercase. But I'm just showing you the official way to do it if you're changing it from the original here. And then again, page number. Self-efficacy is, quote, one's beliefs about one's capabilities to produce designated levels of performance. Okay, this was quoted from somebody else in the Fletcher book. So that's a special way of citing it, and it is in your writer's reference how to do this. It's quoting a quote, basically. And so this was quoted in the Fletcher source. Fletcher did not say this originally. I'm not sure who did right off the top of my head, but it's on page 166. And so for the rest of this paragraph, we look at how these connect to growth mindset, coming back full circle to growth mindset. All right. Now our next subheading, how can a growth mindset be developed, which I've asked you to look at for resilience. And whenever you happen to use two sources in one sentence, you would just cite it like this. Perkins Goff's, whatever comes first, which was the Angela Duckworth. And then learning and experience came from the Dweck source. So we just put a semicolon between those two. Okay. New source here, Cheska Robinson, same thing. And we quote her here, so you can do full-on quotes, but use them sparingly. And of course, the page number again. We also have a new source, another source from Katie Hearn and Myers Snell, and there are page numbers for that as well. So there are two different sources used in that paragraph. And down here, most of the sources we're using are from Robinson, and so we've acknowledged Robinson here. And there's actually three sources. Sorry, because Boyette should be here as well. So there's actually three. Let me fix that. It may not show up. Well, no, I haven't sent this to y'all. So 3 different sources. We have Robinson is here. We have this Rue and others, and then we have Boyette. So sorry about that. So 3 different sources, and we come back to Robinson, right? And then we conclude. You wrap it all up. What has the research told you? What does it mean? The big picture items. This is pretty lengthy. Your whole paper with interviews included is only 5 pages. So, if you can get 3 pages of essay on your literature review, that is really good. That's a good amount to have, because your interviews are not going to take up that much space. And remember, you're going to have an introduction and a conclusion paragraph. So really, if you can even get 2.5 pages of lit review, that will be sufficient for the overall paper. Okay, I hope this helps a little bit with just how you should be constructing this paper and synthesizing your sources. All right, I'll talk to you later. Thanks.